wanted to take a few minutes and go over some CDT items for your testing this week. I thought doing it with a visual and a video will be much more helpful than me trying to explain. So let me go over a few things. First of all, Jeff will be sending an email to all of the students tonight or tomorrow, giving them their username and password for CDT testing. It will look like this. And then at the bottom, we'll have their username and their password. So one thing you need to know about that is that the username and password is different than the one they used for math. So you're going to have to be a little bit cautious that they don't bring up the wrong email. But if that's the case, you always have backup. So I'm putting a reading username and password list together by homeroom, and then at the end is an alpha list. So you will have access to all of their reading username and password. So just keep that in mind that they might try to log in under their math name. The next thing that you need to be aware of is that there is a link that has to be used for virtual testing. You can't use anything but this link for the students to get in. I will email it to you and it looks like this. So it'll come in an email and there's a couple options of how this will work. If GoGuardian's working, you're able to shoot it out to the students and send them to the site. That was not the case for math. It didn't work for most people because GoGuardian was having issues. The second option that you have with this link is that you could put it in your chat in your Google Meet and allow the students to click on that. That worked for most students, but not all of them. You may need to have the students, if neither of those options are available, they may need to take this link and they need to copy and paste it and put it in a new browser. So that would be what it would look like. If you can't put it in the chat, they can't just click. If they just can't click on it, put it in a new browser. So if they do it properly, it will look like this. This is the logon for the online virtual CDT testing. If you get to a screen that does not look like this, they're in the wrong place, and that means the link did not work, so you need to troubleshoot. So if you get to a place that looks like this is not the correct place. This is where we log in to see student reports. So if they get here, it's the wrong place. And if they get here, it's the wrong place. This is where they do the practice test. They need to have a site that looks like this. Once they get to this site, they are going to have to type in their username and password, the one that they received in their email. Again, please make sure they're on the right email and it's their reading password because there are two different passwords. So one thing you need to think about with this is remind the students that the login is not case sensitive. The biggest mistakes that we've had where students were typing, holding down the shift key for the entire time, so the username and password was wrong, or they were doing, if they were on a laptop, they had the cap locks on. You can see that their username will just be a number, and that's their PA Secure ID, but then their password is a combination of number and letters. So just remind the students that it's not case sensitive. It doesn't have to be uppercase or capital, whatever you call it. They can just type it in. The other common error that you're going to find is students are going to want to cut and paste in their username and password, and that does not work. They have to actually type it. And that leads to a whole nother set of possible errors because they mistype. So they might have to do it a few times. But once they do that, they should be able to get into the website. So the last thing you need to check about when a student logs in is you want to make sure, just double check that they're in the correct test. So you will see a starting page that looks like this. It will say their name and it will say reading test right on the top. So that way you'll know that they're not back in the math assessment. So those are the hot spots that we came across. If you have any questions, you're going to just have to call me. Texting me is easiest because I'm not always checking my email. The test is long, There should be anywhere between 50 and 55 questions. So it will take a long time for the students to complete. So you're just going to have to keep encouraging them, but we'll troubleshoot any issues that happen as you're going along. Okay, so good luck, and we can do a quick meet at the end of the day on Monday if you have any questions prior to testing. Thanks.